All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with our last session today. Welcome and thanks for being here again. This session is going to be called Mindfulness for the Overwhelmed, or Meditation for Mental Health. Specifically, the art of returning to the present. We have Chris Wilkins here with us today, and he is a trauma therapist and addiction recovery coach with over 20 years of experience. He is the founder of Hobble Creek Health in Spanish Fork, Utah, and the nonprofit Heal the Hurt, which provides therapy scholarships. Chris holds an MSW from Arizona State University and is completing a doctorate in behavioral health. He is trained in EMDR, IFS, DBT, and neurofeedback. A passionate advocate for trauma-informed care, Chris hosts 2 podcasts, Heal the Hurt and Do Your Dailies, and speaks statewide on recovery, resilience, and the power of compassion, evidence-based healing. Here's Chris.
The day is almost over. You guys have made it. And in my career, I've attended one self-care workshop where we actually did self-care. Like, thank you, I appreciate that. Like, that's nuts. So I want to just ask you guys for a moment, how many self-care workshops have you been to? Like 5, 10, like kind of like probably dozens or more. Have you ever actually meditated or done like a mindfulness sensory experience, or is there mostly theory talking? A lot of theory, which is great. We love theory. As therapists, as helpers, as clinicians, whatever your title is, whatever your position in life is right now, human being, I think we struggle with application. And so that's what I want to do. We're going to talk for about 20 minutes. We're going to meditate for about 20 minutes. And then the rest of the time we'll kind of be like, what was that experience like? And so, subtle disclaimer, if you really struggle with quietness, meditation, and that kind of thing, you might want to, don't head out, don't really do that. But I really want you to dig. I'm gonna invite you, we'll do a guided meditation. It's my favorite one. And when I have clients when we're doing EMDR and somebody really is struggling, this is my go-to for grounding for them. So we'll do that today. There's so much content, and so probably some of the slides we'll skip over. If anybody wants the slides, I'm glad to send those out. My email's at the very end. We do have a mobile app that's free, and I hope nobody works for the Calm app, but I'm trying to duplicate that, bigger and better, right? But do it for free. I want people to have access to some of those resources. So right now it's kind of skeleton. It's got links to our podcasts and a few guided meditations and TED Talks and things like that. But we've been recording some meditations and more content to put up there. So scan that if you'd like to. By the way, I love the Chick-fil-A app. Our app is gamified, and so the more you use it, it's free, by the way. I'll say that probably 3 more times. But the more you use it and do your dailies, so those things, we'll talk a little bit about that in this program. The more you take care of you, we're going to give you free stuff. And you don't get free stuff like on day 1. Obviously, it's going to take some time, but I believe in building habits. So, purpose for today, breathe. And that's an invitation, right? I see a few of you doing it. I love that. I'm one who knows that theory, and I won't do it. I'll skip over it. In fact, our app developer, I have a monthly meeting with them, and a couple of months ago, he was checking in with me and said, how are you doing? I was like, man, it's just stressful right now. It's just a lot of stuff's going on. And he goes, well, let's meditate. I said, no, we got stuff to do. We got stuff to talk about. No, relax. Let's just meditate. It'll be 2 minutes. And I fought him again, and he insisted, and we meditated, and life was a lot better least for the rest of that day and for that week. So breathe, arrive, set intention to be present, even though we're at the end of the day. I know a lot of times we're like, I'm ready to go, I gotta go home. My little girl turned 6 today, I was telling Christy. So I get to go to birthday, dinner, and cake after this. So I'm super excited. My excuse is better than yours, right? So we'll be concise. That's mostly a joke. Meditation, I used to think meditation was for like gurus, woo-woos, and coaches and things like that. And there's this part of me as a therapist that thinks meditation's not good enough for therapy. Does anybody else have that kind of thought process resonate? A few nods, thank you. It is so good. It is all about it. I think what we're all about, meditation and mindfulness. This next one, we're probably going to skip over that one just because of time, but understand the impact on the nervous system and its use in trauma and addiction recovery. It just dawned on me that when I started meditating and my recovery date are within 1 year of each other. I don't think I've realized that in the past. I am huge on applying it to addiction recovery and treating anxiety. Last bullet point there, experience guided meditation and reflect on integration into therapy and daily life. Quote at the bottom, Christy, I said I wasn't gonna pick on you, but can you, well, read it if you will.
The mind is everything. What you think, you become.
All right, thank you. The Buddha. The science of stillness. So stillness, meditation, mindfulness. Has anybody, out of curiosity, no, that's a lot different when it's close. Has anybody seen the movie Peaceful Warrior? Like, I'll have to see hands if anybody has. One person? Okay, I love that. If you will watch that, and I tell my clients this, if you will watch Peaceful Warrior, it costs $4 on Amazon, I'll give you the $4. It's that impactful for me. I tattooed the 3 rules of life from Peaceful Warrior on my wrist. It's that powerful. It is all about mindfulness practice, being in the moment, being present, getting rid of all that garbage, all that nonsense, all that stress that's going on up here. It doesn't heal that stuff. It doesn't cure it. But as we know, in our lives, at times, setting that to the side for a moment gives us a sense of peace of mind and I can do it-ness. So, in fact, I have some hoodies. If you want a hoodie, since you've seen Peaceful Warrior before, I have some weighted hoodies that I brought. So come on down afterward and you get a free hoodie. So, and offer still stands. What? You will watch it? Okay, I'll give you the $4. I'll give you the $4. But we have to talk about it at least 20 minutes. So, all right. You can read these there at the bottom, I suppose. So we're going to cruise to the next one. Meditation is good. We want to be present. We want to be in the moment. So our modern mind, we have constant stimulation, right? Does anybody feel like they've got chronic stress or have had periods of life with chronic stress? You don't have to like out yourself, but like some of the subtle nods are good. Man, that next one's supposed to say live. We live mostly in the future or the past or both. But meditation and mindfulness practice will train us to return to the present moment. Quick question, how many of you have meditated in the past? Shout out the kinds of meditation that you've done. Sound bath, I love it. What else? Grounding? Box breathing? Say it one more time. Okay, I can't try to say that, but Vipassana? Vipassana, okay. Guided meditations, yoga. Any runners? If you're a runner, you're a meditator. If you have a habit of going to the gym and you have a routine, you're a meditator. If you get into the moment, if you get present when you're doing the dishes, you're a meditator. I hate dishes, but I will trick myself into enjoying the experience. Enjoying might be a little bit strong, at least experiencing that by noticing the bubbles, the temperature of the water, the smell of the soap, all of those kinds of things. I'm tricking myself into it. Manipulation is not always a bad thing, right? My wife is convinced that I love doing the dishes, but I don't. I hate it. But again, because of meditation, I can get by. Last one, goal isn't to empty the mind, but to observe it without judgment. This last presentation, I don't know if anyone was in here for this, I was up at the top listening, and they talked right at the end about the difference between shame and guilt. And I'm really big into this whole self-judgment thing. And by into it, I mean it. We've got to look at it. We are so self-critical, okay? Second option for a hoodie at the bottom, trivia question, what is the greatest gift of meditation? Any brave souls? Yeah, exactly. Self-awareness, absolutely. How many, maybe don't raise your hand, this is just like a self-inward, introspective question. How many are self-aware? It's a really hard thing to do. We want to believe that we are, and there are probably periods in life where we are so self-aware, even too self-aware, right? There is so much commotion, so much chaos going on that we tend to get away from that. Why would we not meditate? This didn't work. These were supposed to go up one by one. But I'm new to Google Slides. I know how to use PowerPoint better. But anyway. Anything on here or anything not on here? Anything you would add? Meditation that's too hard, it's weird, I can't clear my mind. Coincidentally, meditation helps us to clear our mind. I don't know how to do it. I don't have time. Coincidentally, meditation helps us organize our mind so that we end up having more time. I want to blame it on I had bronchitis earlier this week into last week, so I'm going to blame that on being a little sick. But I used to teach this workshop 2 times a week for about a year in residential treatment, an introduction to meditation. And those first 3 boxes there were the standard go-tos, and somebody in residential treatment said, I'll just let you read box 4. We know what that means. The things that we're running from, our demons, our pain, our trauma. It makes sense that we would distract ourselves. It makes sense that we would have music playing while the TV's on, while whatever else is going on. We distract because it's so difficult to be with ourselves. But when she said that to me, that line there in box number 4, I was stunned. I was speechless. I'm a talker. I can talk. If you've been around me, you know. We could go on. Like this presentation's 2 hours, if you'll let me. We won't go that long, don't worry. So my invitation is to figure out how to be safe, how to ground enough so that you can be present. I'm not asking you to feel everything all at once, nor should you have your clients or friends, peers, family members do that either. We've got to take it in spurts, a little bit at a time. There are 3 levels of consciousness that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to jump to the bottom section there. The superficial and scattered mind. We're kind of on autopilot, those things that I don't really have to think about doing, driving to work, brushing my teeth, doing the dishes. Hopefully you caught that one. That was mostly a joke. Like I really try to pay attention to doing the dishes. But autopilot, just subconscious, unconscious, I just start doing things, right? We might have gotten to work someday and we realize I don't remember the drive. I don't remember how I got here. Not like drug-induced kind of a thing, but just I was so focused on other things that I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. So that's the first level. Second level, what we want to try to get into, well, let me back up a little bit. Superficial and scattered mind. When you think of that, it's not superficial like fake and like Mean Girls superficial, but like on the surface, no depth to it, right? Scattered being squirrel, back and forth all the time, easily distracted. That deeper analytical thinking, single task, focus, concentrated, efficient, purposeful thinking. The more that we can do that, and we might only do that for 2 minutes and fall back into some of that scattered thought process, right? But the more we can do this deeper analytical thinking, being present, the more likely we are to get into the third stage, which is intuitive states and revelations. Some people say aha moments. I like it. It's more soothing that way. My voice isn't going to be as soothing because I'm a little, dehydrated and whatnot. But that feels good. That's meditation or flow state. A few tips for a really, in my opinion, a really good meditation practice, mindfulness practice. And these don't have to necessarily be in this order, but find a special place, a place that's enjoyable for you. Might be your home, your garden, or a section of your room. If you can't physically get to a location, create one. Close your eyes and imagine yourself being there. Choosing the right time. Be consistent. Try to get a schedule or a routine. In the morning, it's not good to lie down and meditate, but at night, that would be great, right? In residential treatment, I would do this, like I said, this meditation workshop, and we would meditate a lot, and people are always wanting to lie down. And sometimes we think, I don't want to fight them, let's just let them lie down. I used to say no because I didn't want them to fall asleep. But can you imagine if you fall asleep in 5 or 10 minutes, how exhausted you must be? So go with it. And there are parts of the brain that are still going to perceive the meditation, whatever that guided visualization, whatever the different hurts and the tones and all those things are, you're still going to benefit from it. Get a little bit of a power nap. So I've stopped resisting so much. But I do encourage choosing a consistent time. The third one, prepare physically. If you can shower, wear loose-fitting clothing. You don't want to be tugging at yourself. 2 times in different treatment centers, we would do these meditations, and I choose the word aromas for a reason. Sometimes we are very sensitive to smell. One time I was sitting in a circle, and we were meditating. There was a therapist leading that meditation, and as he invited us to exhale, I very quickly realized the person sitting next to me did not brush their teeth that morning. And it threw me right out of my meditation. That was my fault, my responsibility, but I squirreled, right? I chose that other thing to distract me, to pull me out of those benefits. So be mindful of that. If you can't shower, wash your face, wash your hands. Essential oils can be great. Certain smells can be great as long as you're not allergic and whatnot. Sit up straight, try to relax. Sometimes we really struggle with that. We're trying to relax, and we're trying to force it. The fifth one, slow and steady wins the race. If you've never done meditation, which honestly I think everybody has, we just maybe didn't realize we were doing it, or we've judged ourselves. But 2 minutes is plenty. Like, celebrate that. If you get into that state for 30 seconds, celebrate that victory, because that's huge. And the next time, a little bit more, 45 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just like somebody training for a marathon or whatever it is. The power of music. One time I was presenting this, and I said that for meditation, you should not listen to Metallica and Megadeth. You should listen to classical music, or like what I actually just realized it's still playing. I like to listen to Novo Aim. It doesn't matter what you listen to. Choose that thing that soothes you. There was somebody in the group who was a bodybuilder. He's very big, very intimidating. And he argued with me that Megadeth put him to sleep. And in my mind, I was like, no, and he listens to Mozart at the gym. And in my mind, again, I thought he was tricking me. And I wasn't going to argue with him because I wanted my own safety. But I started to explore that a little bit, and he's absolutely right. So again, go with that thing that works for you. Some people will love the music that you like, and some people will hate it. Doesn't matter. It is incredibly powerful, and that in all caps right there, feel it. 7 is your attitude. I very much believe in placebo effect. There have been times where I've had a splitting migraine, and I usually wait like 4 hours. I'm a little bit resistant to medication as a person in recovery now, and probably stubborn is the right word, actually. But I'll wait a couple of hours. I'm like, it's going to go away, right? And it wasn't going away. The second I finally took the Excedrin, it was gone. Like that didn't work. That didn't help. It's placebo effect for me, at least. So if I think this is going to work, it's a lot more likely to work. If I think meditation will not help me, it's less likely. It's not all or nothing, but it's less likely, okay? Last one on there, journaling. This one in particular I think is good. We should do this regardless. But write your thoughts and feelings down. Return to that journal entry over time. I want you to notice your progress in meditation, how good you're doing at it, how beneficial, or what kind of a struggle it is. And then also notice your evolution as a human being. The words you write and the way you write them will change if you meditate multiple times a week. If it doesn't, I'll give you $4 too. We're going to skip this one to go here, actually. Clinical application. So meditation and mindfulness practice enhances emotional regulation and resilience. It complements trauma therapies, reestablishes safety within the body, encourages self-compassion and non-judgmental awareness. Let's see. I'm just going to let you browse that one for a second. We'll skip over it rather than me read it. Bottom right-hand corner, I do want to emphasize this. Normalize the mind wandering. I have really high expectations for myself, and I mess up a lot. So how do I reconcile that? I'm teaching meditation, so what happens if I don't do it? How do I reconcile that with myself? What's the difference between I'm working on it and getting better, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I know what it means, I know how to do it, I don't have to actually practice it. Normalize that mind wandering, because as I try to meditate, I'm going to be thinking about other lists, other things that are stressing me out, okay? So I have those high expectations of myself. I have those high expectations of my kids, right? They're no less human than I am, and if the reverse is true. So we show up and do what we can in the moment. Sometimes even if somebody's experienced with mindfulness practice, really great at it, a guru even, some days they're just not feeling it, and that's okay. We do our best. All right, so we're gonna actually do a meditation, if that's okay. I would encourage you to just sit back. If you're not into it, that's okay. I would just ask you to not disturb whoever's next to you. So if you've got volume going, like turn volumes down and stuff like that, or if you're clicking, just be really mindful. Just be really mindful, right? I did not do that on purpose. So going back to those tips, sit straight and relaxed. I want you to breathe, whatever's comfortable for you. I encourage people to close their eyes. Sometimes that's a safety risk for us. Sometimes we're really uncomfortable closing our eyes one-on-one in sessions, much less with like 40 or 50 people in a room, right? I'm estimating up for my ego. Even in EMDR, when I was in training and I was supposed to be closing my eyes, I was like peeking, like I'm sure they're tricking me here. Again, if during this meditation, if you've got to step out, or if literally like leave the room, or if you just got to kind of come out of it for a moment, that's great. That's fine. Don't worry. Just try to be mindful of those around you. The other disclaimer is, in this guided visualization, I'm going to try to get you sitting on the edge of a cliff, and I'm going to have you soar out across the ocean. And one time when I was doing this, somebody said, I've got a fear of heights. And somebody else who had a fear of sharks. And it didn't go so well for them. So just be warned that way. So breathe in deeply as you can. Sometimes we think we've filled up our lungs to their capacity. We don't realize that they can actually hold a little bit more. And so I would challenge you, as you're inhaling, hold it for a split second and then inhale a little bit more. Just a little bit more, and then let it go. Just notice how the lungs shift. And then sometimes you can do the same thing on the exhale. When you think the belly and the lungs are totally empty, hold it for a split second and just force a little bit more out. Imagine yourself sitting on the edge of a cliff, looking out across an ocean. It is just before the dawn on a warm summer's morning. All around you is still and soundless. Just slivers of starlight sparkling off the waves below saves a pitch blackness. A warm breeze drifts across the ocean and wafts up the face of the cliff and into your heart. This breeze is not so much a movement of air, but a feeling of peace. As you focus out towards the horizon, you notice the first purples and crimsons of the morning dawn spilling out across the sky. And you begin to get a feeling of the sunrise. Newness, beauty, warmth, innocence. All the time the sunrise is changing. Purples turning to crimsons, crimsons to oranges and yellows. The feeling of the sunrise intensifying, soaring across the vastness into your heart breath. And now the sky above and behind you is being overwhelmed by the color and feeling of the sunrise, until the very air around you is tinged by the wondrous purple hue of the morning dawn. It fills the air like a fragrance. You breathe, and the sunrise enters. The crescendo builds, and finally the first ray of sun explodes into the sky, straight to your heart, filling you like an electric charge with peace and light. You feel as though if you were to just stretch your arms, they might become like wings, and you would be able to soar down over the ocean. And so you do. You stand and stretch your arms and lean ever so gently against that breeze, drifting up the face of the cliff. You find yourself becoming lighter and lighter until just your big toe on your right foot is your only link to the earth. And then a moment later, that gentle breeze lifts you off. Letting go, you glide down over the face of that cliff and soar inches above the surface of the ocean. One wingtip, every so often, just dipping into the water, making splashes that sparkle rainbows across the sky. The gentle breeze that had wafted up into your heart at the top of the cliff has now become a great gush, rolling over your wingtips, splashing against your face, inundating your heart with peace. And in the distance, or perhaps deep inside your own heart, you hear two words whispered, ever so gently, over and over again. I am. I am. I am. I am the sky. I am the ocean. I am the sunrise. I am the bird. I am freedom. As you look down across the waves, you feel the whole ocean vast, horizon to horizon. You feel it. You have become the sky as far as you can see. It feels as though you could stretch your wings from horizon to horizon and engulf every little part of this magnificence. And it's shown to you in the next moment that it is the love deep inside your heart that is allowing you to connect with all that is around you. Your love is so full, so all-encompassing, that you understand and feel what every part of the creation is feeling. You glide in this love. You soar in this love. You thrive in this love. All the time it expanding within you, welling up inside your heart. And then with just a whim, you decide to dive deep to the very depths of the ocean. And as you splash through the surface, you feel that this ocean is so deep, it is almost unfathomable. Deeper and deeper you dive, past the turbulent waves crashing about on the surface. Deeper and deeper to the silent, still depths of the ocean. And you feel that you are diving in some parallel way, deep into your very own soul. Plummeting to the center of yourself, past the worries and fears and doubts and limitations crashing about on the surface of your life. Until finally, at the bottom of the ocean, at the still center of your soul, you sit, legs crossed, in perfect silence, in perfect stillness. And there, at the core of your existence, you explore yourself in perfect meditation. light beams stream through the water. And as you glance upward, you see the noonday sun, powerful and bright. Drawn like a magnet, your heart pulls you upward, and focusing on the light, you accelerate through the surface of the ocean and back into the sky. The more you concentrate, the faster you accelerate, and the intensity of the light satiates you. Your every atom. Your heart, like a beacon, propels you higher and higher. And you realize that this light is not just a physical light. It is also a spiritual light. The light of wisdom, of truth. It is as though all the millions and billions of people that have ever been here on the earth and all of their experiences, their wisdom, their revelations are flooding the very core of your being with light, truth, and peace. All the time, the light welling up inside you until finally it seems as if you were to look out to observe your form, all you would see is light. You have become the light and all that it touches, and it fulfills you. Finally relaxing and drifting across the sky, you allow yourself to return to where you started your journey. And you observe this time the setting of the sun. Yellows turn to oranges and crimsons and purples. And for a time, the whole sky gasps in wonder as the colors permeate the twilight. The last moments brightening into a dazzling showcase with kaleidoscopic reflections off the ocean. As the last ray of sun steps off the horizon, you're struck by the eternity of it all. The sunset of one day here, but somewhere else the sunrise of another. Tranquil, at peace, you feel calm, contented, and fulfilled. Bring your focus back to your breath. You might wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your head around in a circle. We start hearing some popping. It's normal, it's okay. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes if you haven't already. You're welcome to share, but if not, just reflect for a moment what sensations or emotions arose. I'm sorry? love that. Thank you. Thank you. I mentioned a moment ago, when I started getting into meditation and I was sitting, I remember exactly where I was. I remember sitting on a couch. It was Thanksgiving. I was out of town at family's and I was listening. I don't remember if it was this exact script or one from this same group. I'm a tough guy. And I was meditating with headphones in back when iPods, I had an iPod. And I was bawling. My eyes were just, someone released the dam. And I had this internal struggle, like, I don't cry, what is going on here? And I had this feeling to go with it, to just let it happen. I think I forgot that I was sitting on a couch in the family room in front of everybody. But that was awkward for me. That was weird. It was new. I think it was like 17 years ago. I'm less tough now than I was back then. Any other emotions or noticing where your mind went? Please.
I think what stood out to me was what I didn't feel the regret of yesterday, the uncertainty of tomorrow. I was really centered in the now, and that is, you want your clients to feel that way, right? You're trying to teach them, but sometimes in trying to teach, you lose the moment yourself, and got that moment today.
Thank you. I love that. I love that. Gives me chills. And it's not cold down here. Yeah. What's that? It's freezing. Not me. When you're in front of 100, 200, just kidding. Just kidding. And I usually have, I do this a lot. Like, I shouldn't say a lot, but I stand in front of people and talk, but you're all my peers. A lot of you know more than I do, so it's a little scary. There was a hand up here too, and then I'm going to come over here. Please.
I just really like the imagery of shooting up towards the light up out of the ocean. I think I could just imagine all these little beads of light kind of shooting and kind of going together.
I love that. Thank you. Please.
Initially, I felt tight in my chest and just that, nose and that, and then as soon as I noticed that I am, it was just maybe when I am enough. And then I was able to relax and that it might sit tight and fast and just not really letting go and acknowledging that, right? Without judgment, that it was okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So we have this internal resistance to, we want to hold our battle scars for some reason in life. And so when we're working with clients or loved ones, because please believe I might not do therapy on my family members and friends, but I'm not going to forget all of the skills when I get home. I did that for a while actually in my life, where I was like, my wife would field questions such as, oh, it must be great to have a therapist at home. And her answer is like, he doesn't do any of that stuff. Because I was so good at getting rid of therapy when I would get home. And then over time we learn, oh, I've got to be a human, right? I've got to be real. And so I think over time we do a better job of navigating that process. Sometimes I have a hard time, that third one, sometimes I have a hard time coming back to reality. I want to stay in that space longer. Part of my hope is that it will encourage you to seek out experiences more often. I think I wasn't timing it, but I think it was 20 minutes, something like that. Do it for 5. There are guided meditation recordings on YouTube all over the place for free. If you download the app, we'll be putting some out every so often. And again, we're not going to charge you for it. We need it. I don't know who said it. Whoever we claim said it probably echoed somebody else's opinion on it, but the phrase of if schools taught meditation or taught kids how to meditate, fill in the blank. We'd end World War. And think about the domino effect of that kind of thing with hunger and all this stuff, right? We'd probably cure addiction. We'd probably heal and prevent trauma. There are still natural disasters and those kinds of things, but the way we treat others, I think, would change significantly. So, integrating this into your daily life. A lot of you talked about breath work at the earlier on, mindfully walking. How many people do bilateral stimulation, either EMDR or ART, or you've seen it, you've heard about it? Like the freest bilateral stimulation is going for a walk. Like you don't have to go to training. You don't have to pay Emdria or whatever the ART place is. I hope they're not here. I really say things that get me in trouble. Usually it's about insurance. We hate them, but I apologize. But being present, just noticing. Have you ever mindfully eaten a breath mint? Like that's a very weird question. You can do it. We did it in group one day. The Lifesavers that says Lifesaver on the side. Just think about that. There's not time to like really dive into how to do it. But opening the wrapper, the smell, like all the senses, being present. Sometimes I'm in private practice, and usually, well, it's not even just exclusive to private practice. We are going all day long. And there have been times where I open my door, well, see you next time, have a great day, great job today, and all that stuff. And I look into the waiting room, and here's the next one, come on in. And every once in a while, somebody says, don't you need a break? I think, no, you know who I am? That's a joke. We got this. No, come on in. I'm ready for your stuff. And sometimes our clients are so intuitive. Hey, take that minute, take that second. So do some breath work. Some cold water. Tony Robbins' power leaps or lunges, whatever he does. Do that thing that's going to reset part of that central nervous system. Like, shift it so that you can show up. Sometimes that's for the next client, sometimes that's for family, and sometimes that's for you. Some benefits, reducing our symptoms of anxiety, benefits of meditation with our clients and with ourselves, reducing anxiety, depression, and stress, helps us better with our attentiveness, our patience, and awareness. It does support trauma, support healing trauma, addiction, and chronic pain. And it improves connection with self and others. Guys, we did it. We even have 10 minutes. I'm going to go back to one of the ones that we skipped just to put it up here. I don't know which one it was, whatever. So, just kidding. Any questions, thoughts, comments, arguments, appropriate jokes? Anything like that? Please. It's. I said I was going to say it 3 more times or something, so you get a free hoodie. Somebody, yeah, or a stress ball. They're not the same. They are not the same. So, I like that. Thank you. That reset me. The selfish plug is up there. I run Hobble Creek Health. We're in Spanish Fork. I know it doesn't make sense. I'm from Springville. So if you're local and you're like Spanish Fork and Hobble Creek, that doesn't make sense. Don't worry about it. Don't stress. We got a great rate on the office building, and we moved. Also, because we have 10 minutes, we're going to plug ASAP, which is the Association for Utah Substance Abuse Professionals. Please join. We are the Utah affiliate of NADAC, which when I was having to type up my bio stuff, I realized that NADAC changed their name like 20 years ago. I didn't even realize that. But it's the Addiction Recovery National Body the alliance. So they didn't change the acronym, but they changed the name. So it does make sense. We'll say that. Any other thoughts? Please.
If you're going to explain to us, I mentioned why meditation helps with addiction.
I would say I would do a meditation with them, and I would ask literally what we just did. What are you feeling now? And because I'm not I want to be careful how I say this. I don't intend to run away from the drug. To me, a drug is a drug is a drug. Heroin, nicotine, sex, food, gambling, fentanyl, all of it. It's not the same, but it's the same, right? It's the same process. And not everybody's an addict, right? There are different levels of that. So I don't want to run away from that, but I want to help them recognize how calm they can be. And I might even ask, over the last 10 minutes, did you want to drink? Did you want to smoke? Did you want to fill in the blank, whatever that was? I would guide them by showing them that process. I've spent too much time in my life lecturing. I hate that word, lecture. There's a negative connotation to it already, I think. So I would show them. Now, to follow up on that, maybe I don't have that ability. I would talk about my own experiences. I would talk about my past, maybe. Impulsivity, how I'm always stressed or distracted. And I would tell them by slowing down, by breathing, by using the 5 senses. We know there's more than 5 senses, but the 5 that we know, right? By using those 5 senses, we can completely rewire the brain so that it's my daughter's birthday today, so that's why I'm emotional. No, this is real. We can rewire the brain so that somebody doesn't want to get high anymore. An absolute miracle. Please.
So, I have 19 years in recovery, and when I was using meth and heroin, they were the solution for me. And so, doing these meditations and using that is a new solution so that I no longer have to get loaded for the problems that I face in life. I'm able to deal with the core issues with new solutions.
Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations on your sober time, on your recovery. I might even share with them some music. Because again, who meditates? Some of us put our hands in the air. We know what it looks like. Hands up in the air like this, saying ohms in a monastery somewhere, right? Like I said earlier, I meditate when I'm doing the dishes. It was actually Jack Johnson that helped me. I do love Jack Johnson. There's something about the tone, the beat, the rhythm. I'm not a musician, so I can't tell you like the pace and all that. Whatever musicians are probably like losing it with my terminology here. But something with how that music goes and dishes for me. So I'd even give them a real life example that's not quote unquote meditation. What does it feel like when you go to the gym? What does it feel like when you're shooting baskets? What does it feel like when you're flying a kite? You know, this is all age levels. Are you, where's my peaceful warrior person? Do you remember when he throws Dan off the bridge at Cal Berkeley into the river? That's a little cliffhanger teaser. You should watch it. Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I love it. I love it. The book is called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. The movie, yeah. Usually the movie's not as good as the book, right? In my opinion. I did Facebook message Dan. I said, the movie's better. I'm so sorry. So he didn't write back. Levi.
I just wanted your thoughts because it feels like we all nowadays just have access to distractions and doom scrolling. I feel like we don't even touch paper books anymore, and we don't even read anymore. It's read to us, right? And so I just wanted your thoughts on, meditation in the modern era potentially being a counterbalance to our, I guess we're just not using our brains much anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought that a lot because like on social media, I'll put like, hey, go outside, get off social media as I'm posting on social media, right? I personally don't scroll a lot anymore. I go to the DMs where people send me funny stuff. That's my time on social media other than like the tips and that kind of thing, right? So if I'm understanding you correctly, we have to change the algorithm. I don't mean the scrolling algorithm, but like what we do. There's that phrase, touch grass, we've probably all heard. It's almost getting annoying now, but it comes from a good place of having sensory experiences where I can go do this other thing. That other thing's over here, apparently. I can go do this other thing and I get a little dopamine release. I feel good. I don't want this other thing anymore. Does it make sense? I don't know if that really answered what you were asking. Okay. Going back to that particular scene when he falls into the river, Socrates, who's played by Nick Nolte in the movie, which is very fun, by the way, he asks him, what were you thinking about? This meeting you had to run off to? No. Girls? No. Any of your stress? No. He cleared his mind. And that's what you mentioned earlier. Like, I still have to go do things. We know that we're not pretending naively or ignorantly like that there's not stress in this life. But I needed a break. I needed a little escape from that for a moment. Something that didn't cause significant financial strain. I wasn't worried that a PO was going to drug test me. I wasn't worried that somebody was going to smell it on my breath or any other of those consequences. Like, it feels good. There is a release, that feel-good chemical release doing meditation and mindfulness. So, never in my life have I ended early. I'm a talker. Guys, we're going. Get out of here with 1 minute to go. So,
Thank you so much. Yes. The ever-powerful keyword for this session is mind, M-I-N-D. M-I-N-D. Okay, we'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Make sure that you visit all of the booths and things that we have over by the Keynote Ballroom, and we'll see you tomorrow.